Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see your faces. Some new, some old, some all the time, and I love it. So we are here to play with our newest product. So we have Danessa Myricks. We have so many things from her, and I'm so excited to play with them all. I played with some of them before, but not all of them, so that there'd be some surprise and some excitement involved. So my eyebrows are already on, because I thought that would be a lot easier. So I'm going to jump right into my eyes and then into my skin. Now, I normally like to do skin first, but I'm going to save the good stuff for the last thing we do. So I'm going to do a very quick eye look. I'm just going to use eyeliner from our Stila collection to give myself a quick little smudged liner. So I'm not going to start off with any primer because this is a waterproof liner. I don't need any primer. So I'm actually going to start just at the lash line. And I'm just going to smudge. See how easy that applies? So creamy. Love. So I'm so excited. Has anybody tried the new Danessa products yet? Or are you guys all waiting for this? Anyone? Not yet? They're great. They make building a face so easy and seamless and skin-like. And that's what we want. So I'm just going to take my little brush and I'm smudging out this line to give me a nice smudge or smoky eye. This is my go-to. If you've ever gotten a chance to be in my class, you know that this is the eye that I love to do. It's fast, it's my everyday eye, because it takes only a few steps. Look at that. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Taking my pencil, and I'm just gently pulling at the outer corner of my eye. So for those of you that have not had the pleasure of meeting me, my name is Brittany Scott, and I have been a makeup artist for 8 years. I feel like that happened fast. So like one day I was saying, oh, I'm only been a makeup artist for 2 years. And the next thing I know, I'm like, 8? That's crazy. Yes, it's been 8 years. 8 years of growing, 8 years of learning, but it's all been fun. I'm located here in Los Angeles. And I have been employed at Blushington since 2018. All right. See how quick that is? So I'm just going to always take it up a little bit higher than I want, and then blend a nice warming color into my crease. So I'm going to dip into my soft Glam palette, grabbing my absolute favorite shade in Sienna. As you can see, I've hit pan, so it's definitely my favorite. And I'm going to put this in the crease. So I'm looking down. Oh, I can already see where I need to adjust my liner. So I always like to look at different angles of my makeup just to make sure I don't have any skin peeking through where it's not supposed to be. I'm going to blend that in together. Yes, perfect. So same thing on this side. Make sure I take it all the way in the inner corner. And I can see right here, I don't have as much black on the inner side as I do on that side. So I'm just gonna add a little more. We always want to look for balance. So I'm gonna add a little here. And I'm gonna take it all the way to the inner corner on both sides. Just to make sure it's nice and balanced. Yes. Looking good. So this is my eye. I'm just going to do a little bit of smoke at the bottom as well because of balance. You know, we always do balance. And then we can get into all of the fun, the newness and fun. So same liner. I'm going to take it on my lower lash line. Now I am going to hold my mirror above me because I want to stretch this lower area. You will see me do this again when I apply concealer. It's the best thing to do to make sure that I'm not encouraging creasing. Now, because I like to keep my eye looking as big as possible because they're not that big, when I do my lower liner, as you can see, I don't go right next to my eye. I leave a little gap there because it's going to bring more light into that area and give the illusion that my eyes are more open and more bright. All right. Liners want to jump out of my hand, but that's okay. You always want to make sure that your liner also connects top and bottom in this outer corner. And remember, a smoky eye is an effect, and the effect is smokiness. So it has to be completely saturated around the eye area to complete the effect. And so I'm just taking my pencil brush and blending right underneath. Perfect. I'm gonna do the same thing to my other side. Again, making sure that I don't get too close to my eye. So I'm taking it right below my lash line, connecting on this outer corner and going right below my lash line. And I stop about midway in my eyeballs. And oh, thank you, Sloan. And then I like to blend it towards the inner corner because I like it to have a very soft finish. I don't ever want anyone to be able to look at my makeup and see where something ended unless I did that purposefully. And most of the times we don't do that purposefully. We want the blend, we want the seamlessness. So I always soften the front of my liner towards the inner corner to give it that softness. You gotta always check your work. I'm gonna check my work. I feel like I'm a little bit deeper on this right side, on the outer corner than the left. So that's all right. I'm just gonna add a little more. Focusing it where I see that I need the most of it. And then blending them together. And notice I still took it all the way inside my eye. So we've got nice and smoky. All right, now for the fun. So I haven't even done all of my skin prep because I have new skin prep. So I'm going to now go into my face with the beauty oil from Danessa. So yes, I have touched it. Yes, I have played with it. And the most unique thing about this formula, well, first of all, let's talk about the bottle because it's plastic. I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of times they make glass bottles and I have broken a mini glass bottle of oil. So this will not break. Second, it's very interesting formula. So you do have to shake it up because it has, I don't know if you can see, yes, you can, those little gold flakes in it. And so they will collect on one side. So you want to give it a nice good shake. You do not need a lot, but it is a very drying oil. Glass is heavy and intricate, Susie. So I'm putting some of it in my hand and I'm just going to rub it together so I can show you what I mean by a dry oil. I press it into my skin. And even though it's going to leave a little bit of a glow, it kind of goes down and just leaves me a little more hydrated. So a dry oil doesn't have that heavy, greasy feel. It doesn't feel like there's something sitting on your face that's sticky. I don't feel sticky at all. It feels very, almost like lotion. It just kind of sinks into the skin. It leaves the shine, but not the feel of oil. Very interesting. So I'm excited to see how everything. You got me touching my face, Sloan. So Sloan asks, is it tacky enough to use as a primer? Now, oftentimes primers have a tacky feel, but there are moisturizers, there are glistening, glittery products that also have a tacky feel. And anything with a slightly tacky feel is a great primer because it's going to grab that foundation, grab that concealer, and hold onto it without rolling off and having gaps as you blend. So, Sloan, I think so, but let's play and see how much of a tack it has. I like it. I like it a lot. I look glowy, and that's what I like. I like brand new looking skin. So I am going to jump right in to my color corrector. I'm going to color correct a little bit around my mouth on top of the oil. I'm just going to use this brush I have here from Delium. This is my 775 brush. And I'm just getting rid of a little bit of depth that I have on discoloration. I'm gonna add a little here under my eye. Now, when I do under eye color correction on myself, I don't do a lot because I like to focus it where it's the deepest. I don't need it all the way under here, but I have this little crevice and I want it to look a little brighter and a little less crevicy. So I add the color corrector right there because that is where I want it to be the brightest. So that's how I use color corrector, to add a little bit of brightness to the face as well. So then I'm going to just press it in. I don't want to blend it in because I need it to cancel out the unwanted pigment. So I want to leave it behind like that. So now I'm going to go in with my nude sticks. I am using number 8 in my nude sticks. And I'm going to begin applying this to my face. Now I also have Danessa's illuminating veil. So I am going to blend a little bit of this into my foundation for a little added glow, because why not? So just gonna hopefully not get too much. Of course I did, because you really don't need a lot of this product. So I'm gonna make smaller, wipe some of it away. I do not want to use too much. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm just mixing them together on my hand. And I always like to start wherever I am the most discolored or wherever I placed my color corrector, because that's where I want the most pigment. Remember, wherever you place your brush first is going to have the most pigment. So I'm gonna start right here because that's where I want that pigment to be the heaviest, right around my mouth, right where I was doing that color correction. Oh, that looks good. Okay, nice little blend. So I see some questions in here. I'm using the color Goddess. This is Goddess that I am using on my face, mixed into my foundation. And I will take an after picture so you can see a really nice close look at my skin, but I don't look glittery. That's always my concern when I use a product like this that's very shimmery and iridescent. I don't want to look like a disco ball. I just want to be cute and shiny. Summertime fine, as they say. And the nice thing about this, these shimmers is they are pretty waterproof. So I'm playing with a few of them. I played with Synergy a little earlier today, and I put it on the back of my hand and it's still there. I've washed them several times and it's still hanging out. So that means that you can wear it all over your body. You can go to the pool in it. You can go to the beach in it and have your glow consistent, not just on your face. So I added some more product because I ran out. Mixing it together again. I did get a little bit more glow this time, and you can kind of see it because I'm a little bit higher on my face. So I say, why not just add a little more glow? So I'm going to focus it here first. Get that glow deposited right on top of my cheekbones. And then begin blending it in. Now, normally I do not use, yes, Sarah, it really does. And I was just going to say that I love that you called that out. So I'm not a wiper. I don't believe in wiping product on the face, but I don't know if it's the beauty oil. I don't know if it's Goddess. I don't know if it's a little bit of all of that, but it makes the skin very healthy and easy to glide over. So nothing is streaking. Everything is just blending in so seamlessly. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can't even see where my foundation really, there we go, really starts and stops. And that's the goal. You want it to be kind of invisible. Feel similar. Yes and no, Sloan. Yes, I would in terms of the shimmer. Think about that shimmer. So Sloan's question was, would I say that the veil is similar to Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector? And yes, they're both liquid, and yes, you can mix them. And I would say, and they're both shimmery, and I would say that's where the similarities end. Becca had a higher shimmer output. It was very, very glittery, very, very glistening. This doesn't have that. Once it's mixed into a foundation, doesn't really have a heavy glisten, a heavy glow, or big glitter particles. And this also has a better staying power, Sloan, than the Becca did. This one, I don't ever call anything waterproof, but it is very water resistant, I will say. All right, so finishing blending into my forehead, which I'm really excited to do. Yes, it is really, really nice. I have no plans tonight, guys, but I am going to find some. So I didn't really put any product under my eye because I don't like to put too much product. So I'm going to use my concealer there, and then we'll get into our bronzer. So jumping into my concealer, I'm going to use my Delium Tool 775 brush again. Yes, to water resistant. Just wiping off the color correction product that may have been left behind. And I will use this brush to blend in my concealer that's trying to run away from me. And I haven't. You know the product for you guys. So I'm using my absolute favorite concealer, the Bodyography Concealer. Why do I love this so much? Because it sets itself. I don't have to do any work. Very rarely do I need to use heavy powder to make it work, to make it stay. Thank you, Sarah. It is. It's like they made it for me. They're like, you know what? Let's make number 8 look just like Britt. And it does. So I am going to use my concealer in the shade B1 from Bodyography. And because it's mine, I'm going to use it straight from the tube. And notice that I'm focusing it right where I put my color corrector. Because again, that is the area under my eye that is the deepest. So I care the most about that. So taking my brush, because I'm using brushes and not pressing. It's so strange, but it works so well. So I'm just pulling this all the way across, but I'm also going to pull it down over my cheekbone. What I find a lot of people doing correctly with concealer is just keep it right here. Keeping the concealer right here is actually going to magnify the issue, magnify the problem. We want to camouflage the problem. So make sure that you blend your concealer all the way down over the cheekbone for that seamless blend and for those really young looking under eyes. So I'm looking up, no mirror. Gosh, I hope I don't mess up. Okay, I did okay. To blend the outer part of my eye. Do not recommend doing it without a mirror. I was being real risky right there. All right, looks good. So same thing for the other side, and I did not need a lot of concealer. Now, let's talk about skin for a second. Now, we know that you must take really great care of your skin because the better your skin is, the healthier your skin is, and the better your makeup can look. So be sure that you do wonderful skin prep before doing your makeup. Skin prep is clean face, so cleaning your face first. I did that. Skin prep is eye cream. Skin prep is moisturizer. Sometimes it's toner, sometimes it's serum. But if you're at least doing eye cream and moisturizer and sunscreen during the day, that is enough to get your makeup to lay even better. So don't skip those essential steps. So I overblend all of my products. As you can see, it's getting blended up the side of my nose. It got blended down my cheekbone. It's getting blended back into my hairline so that all the products that I add are going to lay on top of that and everything is going to just blend really seamlessly. So to finish off my eye, I'm going to take this brush here and I'm just going to press it. I do like that pressing motion right under the eye. I don't want too much product under there. As I get a little older, I notice that I can't handle it in the same way as I used to be able to. So now that that's on, we're going to set it, but we're only going to set one eye. No, this is not the powder stone. You're just in time. I'm going to do it right now. So I'm only going to set one side now, and then I'm going to set the other side later so that we together can see how it works. Do we like it better set at the beginning and then wiping it off later? Do we like it set at the end? So I have her Evolution powder here. I have the shade 2. So 2 is kind of yellowy. Would I call that yellow? Yeah, I call that yellow. Like a really soft, peachy yellow, I guess is the best way to describe it because it's not very yellow. It's kind of warm looking. So I'm taking just a little bit. I put it into my hand. Now, when I set under the eye area, I always check my work. So I'm going to press under here again, making sure that there are no lines, because if there are lines when you set it, there'll be lines there after. So if you don't want to set the lines, you better blend them out. So I put the powder on my brush here, and I'm just going to press it under my eye. And I'm also going to overpress my powder. So it's a very soft powder, as you can see. As I press it in, it kind of falls. I like a soft powder. because it usually doesn't add to the texture, especially in the softer areas like the thin skin areas under the eye and around the mouth. And that is a good thing. That is what you want. And you don't always want your powder to dry you out either. You want it to still leave you looking alive, just not creasy. All right, it looks nice. It looks pretty natural, especially compared to this side. It's a little glowier. So let's see what it looks like towards the end. So now we're going to get into one of my absolute favorite steps. So anybody want to try to guess what that is? No? I'll tell you. It's bronzer. I love it. I love bronzer. I love bronzing my forehead. I think it makes me so cute. So if you have never used bronzer on your forehead, I suggest that going forward, you let that be your all the time thing, like it's my all the time thing. So I'm going to use the Balm Contour from Danessa. So this is a beautiful, creamy, hydrating shaping tool. And it's a very interesting shaping tool because it is creamy and because it has that consistency. It's also not a very warm or cool color. It leans more warm like bronzer. But when you put it on, it catches a lot of dimension over your bone structure. And it can kind of make it look like you use bronzer and contour. Joe and I were playing with it earlier, and we found that so fascinating that every time I turned, it looked like I had on both versus just one. So if you don't know, bronzer is going to mimic the sun's behavior on your skin. It's going to tan you. It's going to give you that beautiful beach glow. Contour, on the other hand, is your chiseler. So it's going to give more definition to your bone structure, make them look like they are more protruding, make your face even look a little slimmer. I'm a bronzer girl. I just like it more. So this makes me very happy because I love creams. So going back in with my 948 foundation brush, you don't need a lot. This is incredibly pigmented. I'm using the shade Deep 2 and dropping things. Let me just move Goddess out of my way. She just wants to be involved in everything. So I'm going to pick some up, and literally that's all I'm going to pick up because I know how pigmented it is. And I'm going to start here with my cheek, and I'm just going to, look at that, wipe it on my cheekbone. And I'm just going to keep wiping at it, and it's going to blend in to my face so seamlessly. I'm going to add some more though. I want my cheeks to pop. So going in and adding a little bit more. Notice I'm doing it a little more hesitantly because I know how pigmented this is, as you can see, and I've overdone it before. So I'm going to add a little bit of the product that's left on my brush right here close to my hairline so I don't overdo my cheek. And then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to start blending my cheek. I'm just going to pull it back. That blended. Oh, it looks so good. Yes, Sloan. I just love shaping my face. It is my absolute favorite part of makeup. I don't even need all the other stuff as much, especially using this Balm Contour. It makes everything so easy. So I'm going to pull away from my forehead until I get rid of that line. Always removing lines of demarcation. You see how easy that blended? Like, I'm not really working hard, guys. I'm really just doing this. And those that were in my class also know I don't like to work hard. I want it to be easy. So this is me now. It's easy. Look at me. You can't tell me I don't look good. Just that. I mean, it's revolutionary. Same thing for my cheek. Thank you. Yes, Sarah, get your hands on it. And the wonderful thing about it is having all 4 of those shades of the Balm Contour work for everybody. As you can see, this is incredibly pigmented. So it's even a little too deep for me. I could always go a little bit lighter. The medium 2 is just a little too light. So I've mixed them together to get a better bronzing look. So I say that to say they're mixable, they're blendable. You don't have to feel stuck with just one. So you can have everyone's bronzing shade in just those 4 shades that we have. So doing my cheek on the other side. Yes. Also, everybody, this also blends into the skin without foundation really well. I've also worn it alone. I mean, gosh, I look great. The Danessa bundle is still up. The products are all online. And if you haven't gotten yours yet, highly suggest you head on over there. and pick them up. Ugh, they're revolutionary. So that is me with the bronzer. Look at me. Look at my cheeks and my forehead. Yes. All right. So when you're bronzing your face, when you're adding shaping to your face, you want to make sure that you keep it, again, balanced. So we've done our forehead, we've done our cheeks, but we also have to do our jawline. So the jawline helps to give really beautiful definition to your portrait. So I always like to start behind the earlobe because it's the easiest to blend. And I'm just going to drag it along my jaw. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll blend it. So I brought it up a little bit on my chin because my chin is a little bit bigger than I'd like it to be. And doing this gives it the illusion it's a little bit smaller. And I like that. So use your makeup. You can be an illusionist too. So I'm going to blend it very, very nicely, very softly into the jaw. You guys, this is amazing. For me to be able to blend my bronzer or my contour balm all over my face with just this one brush in like 5 swipes is really amazing. I mean, think about how long it takes you to blend most things. We're sitting there blending for 5 minutes on the cheek, then 5 minutes on the forehead, and then 10 minutes on the jaw. So with something like this, look how fast. I mean, it's flying by, and I'm really trying to slow it down a little bit, bring this back. So I have bronzed and powdered my face only on one side. So I'm going to take a look under, looking at both sides. We can see that this has less shine, but it doesn't look dry. Let me double check in here. Yes, less shine, but it's not dry. No creasing. But it's bodyography. Bodyography doesn't crease. But on this side, we have more shimmer, more, I should say, reflection in the product. So I am going to add powder there. I'm going to do a different technique as I add the powder. So the last time I used it, I used this brush and I pressed it in. So this time I'm going to use a soft, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to dust it under the eye. I really encourage you all, especially to my pro artists out there, to play with your products like this when you buy new products. You don't know what they do yet. You don't know how well they sit on other things. You don't know if you like using that brush or that tool or this sponge. So you want to make sure that when you're building faces with your new products, you try all the different tools. Try your sponges, try your brushes, try your finger. You never know. And then try it on top of different things. Go out of order, go backwards, go forward, start in the middle, build your way out. That helps you learn your art even more. Oh yes, Melissa, the goal is to add more. So taking this on my, what brush is this? My 785. First, I'm going to show you how soft this powder is. It's very, very light, very soft, easily moves, easily falls off, which is a good thing. We want a light powder. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to just dust under my eye. And it's just flying everywhere. It's very, very powdery. So taking it like this, and then I'm going to just dust this extra off of my nose. So you need very little powder because I used way too much, and I didn't think I got a lot. Again, like everything, so lightly over blending it everywhere because we want that seamless blend. We don't want our powder to just sit under our eye. Always want more, yes. Yes, it's hard not to always want more. I'm going to add a little more under here. Kind of like the way that looks. It looks like real good skin, you know? Not oily, not dry, not matte, just really nice skin. So I'm going to add some more shaping to my face to finish it off. I'm going to add a little bit of color to my forehead. Using a concealer that's lighter than me is going to add highlight to my forehead without me having to use anything shimmering. I am going to go back in with Goddess, add a little bit more shimmer to my face because why not? Oh yeah, number 2 can be used on any body lighter than me, all the way up. It is very light, has very little color. Once I rub it in, it has very little color. You can see it doesn't even really sit in the lines. which is what you want. Heavier powders will sit right in those lines. You have a harder time blending them. With heavier powders, or I should say not with this powder, but you'll find with your concealer, it will trap the moisture in the concealer and you'll have these weird like gaps where it'll just look like you have too much product here, but it's dried out from the powder. Because this is soft, that is something that you won't run into. So taking my concealer, using it to add light to my face. Because I like a bronzed forehead, I'm gonna brighten this center part of my forehead. Now, how do I know I need to add light here? Well, I pay attention to my bone structure. And having the light come right at my face, I'm able to see all the areas that I naturally am a little bit lighter, or the light, I should say, naturally catches. The middle of my forehead, under my eyes, and then kind of right down here, top of my lip and the chin. So mimicking this is what makes makeup look so nice and so natural, because I'm playing into all the dimension that I already have. So I'm going to take this brush here. This is my 959 brush. I use this to press my color corrector in. And I'm just going to press this concealer in. And I'm moving up and away from that area for that blend. That means I can add a little bit more bronzer to my forehead, which I love. So that is going to add a little bit more light. I contour my nose sometimes. I'm not big on it, but I am going to contour my nose today using my Danessa so you can see how I would do it. Where's the brush? For a little more bronzer. So when I blended my concealer, I went a little higher than I wanted. So I'm going to just go in with a little bit of my bronzer. I probably got too much. And I'm just going to swipe this forward just to make that area a little smaller. Now, when you're bronzing your own forehead, the best way to know how far to take your bronzer is how far your forehead protrudes. If your forehead protrudes out far, that's the area you want covered by your bronzer. If your forehead is pretty flat, you want a very narrow strip, very close to your hairline, to have bronzer on it. That is the best way to find out. Okay, perfect. So I am all nice and blended there. So now I'm going to clean up my face before I jump into my nose. So what did I used to put on my foundation? Oh my goodness. I normally like to take my foundation tool to clean up my cheeks. And I like to take it right in the hollow of my cheek to make sure I didn't take my bronzer or any contour a little bit lower. So I'm going to clean that up with this. Would you use a different color, a lighter one for contour? I'm not sure if I understand. A lighter what for contour? The balm? On me, if I had another one? Yeah, it's very, very pigmented. So if you had this, you could work on people deeper than me. And if you have the lightest one, you'd be able to work on everybody in between because they mix so well. So I'm switching brushes for my nose. I'm using this concealer brush. It's 936 brush, but I'm going to use the side of it because I don't want a lot of product. I already know this is going to be very pigmented and I don't want to have to work too hard with my nose. So I have a little bit of product right here on the side. I'm going to grab that because I don't want to get too much. And I need my mirror close. So what I always do when I'm contouring the nose or adding definition to the nose, I always start in the eyebrow because again, we're paying attention to bone structure. So if we're looking at my bone structure, we can see that I'm already deeper right in this area. So all I'm going to do is place the product there. So starting near the eyebrow, I'm just going to take it down following my bone structure. I feel like noses and eyebrows require the most concentration. All right, perfect. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to soften this line that I made. So I made a very thin line and I just want to make it even softer. So I'm going to blend kind of away from that line down. Oh, wow, that looks really nice, guys. You know what I like about this product a lot is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it kind of changes depending on how the light sits on it. So I know you've seen powder bronzers and powder contours, and no matter how the light looks on their face, it just sits at that one color. It either looks really, really dark all the time or kind of orange all the time. Yes, Melissa, it gives great dimension, but it softens dimension depending on how you move your face, how the light is hitting it. Like, I love that. I think that's my absolute favorite thing about this. That's why it looks so much like skin. It does give you that dimension. So I'm just finishing off my nose. And what I like to do to really make sure it's blended well is I'm going to take my finger and just press along that bridge, soften any of those lines. Nose contouring used to be the bane of my existence. Not so bad now, though. All right. I'm just picking up a little concealer. It's right in here to add a little light. Now let's get into some cheeks. So for cheeks, I really like an orangey blush. I think that it makes me look very cute, and I like to look cute. So I'm going to actually use an eyeshadow as my blush. So going back into my Soft Glam palette, I'm actually going to use the same color that I used for my eye and the crease to finish off my smoky eye. I'm going to use that as my blush. So that is the shade Sienna, and I am going to use my cheek brush in number 942. So when I'm using a brush this big in my eyeshadow palette, I'm just going to kind of squeeze it so I don't get any other product on there or any other color on there. And just kind of pick that up like that. Then I have what I need. So I'm going to smile. So blush goes right where that cheekbone is. That's where I'm going to place it, right here on top of my cheek. And then I'm going to blend that back. And because I have this color on my eye already, it looks very nice together. So now I'm just picking it up from the side, making sure I don't get in any other color, and adding just a little more color to my cheek. Let's do the same thing over here. So I'm using the tip of it right on that cheekbone at the top, and then blending it back. Everything should always overlap every time you're doing makeup. If it doesn't overlap, it is not going to be blended as well as you want it to. Let's clean up the foundation, which I didn't do. So taking this in number 8, just putting a little bit of product. This is just my foundation product. I don't want a lot, so I wiped a lot of it off. I'm just using it to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Right under there, cleaning that up real nicely. Just like that. I like to take this big brush and just kind of blend everything, even my blush. I just like to press everything into my face. I like that seamless airbrush-like finish that it'll give me when I do this. It just really helps to get everything blended together. I mean, just the easiest structure that I've ever built. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of this shimmer. So I have shimmer in Synergy and I have Goddess. So Synergy is this like pinky color here. It's a little pinkier and a little lighter than I thought it was going to be. And I'm going to use a little bit of it. So I'll show you what that looks like. So that's it here. It's real pinky. And then on the back of my hand, it looks like that. So it was a lot, it's lighter. It made my face lighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine a little bit of Synergy with Goddess. and use that as my highlighter. So let's grab this brush here. So I have them here. I'm just gonna mix them together. Just gave me a lighter gold, like a pinky gold. All right. So I'm gonna take that, which of course I probably got too much again. Remember, learn from me. It is very pigmented. You do not need a lot. So I'm just gonna press this into my cheekbone because I know this product has a very strong hold. I'm trying to make sure I work fast. Don't like the way that's blending. So that I don't, it doesn't dry on me. Okay, there we go. So I'm using my concealer brush. I like the way it blends this a little better. All right. Oh, I got so nervous. All right. Ooh. Okay. All right. She looks cute. And laying this more liquidy highlight on top of my powdered bronzer, my powdered blush, did absolutely nothing to my blush. It didn't move. It didn't separate. So I'm going to use this to apply it this time. Gonna make it a little easier for me. Turning this way. Gonna blend this in the same way. I'm just kind of smoothing it like I did the bronzer. I'm gonna check both sides and add a little more over here. A little more intense on my right side. That's why you always have to check and double check and hold the mirror back and triple check that all of your products are balanced on both sides. Ooh, where else can I add highlighter? Where is your favorite? Yes, nice and glowy. Where is your favorite place to add highlighter? I know a lot of people like to do the tip of their nose. I like to add highlighter right in this little area here. It's my favorite place. Cupid's bow, love it. Let's add a little highlighter there. Yes. That's a fun place. Anyone else have a favorite place they like to add highlighter? No? Okay, that's fine. Well, everyone should have a favorite place. Little glow. Never hurt anybody. So I'm also going to add a little glow to my inner corner because I know people like that inner corner glow. So I'm using my little small lip brush for that. And I'm just going to come right in here. Add that. Ooh. Look at that. Yes, glow. Okay, that's nice. All right. Let me tell you guys something. I have been playing in these products and I have not been disappointed. And sometimes I'm shocked, as you can see, about the things they can do. And that's why it's important to play and layer, blend, try blending with all the tools so you can see what works best. Oh, because I am just loving the blend that this provides. It is so gorgeous. It is so easy to do. So of course, we're going to finish off with some lips and some mascara. So I'm going to do mascara on my bottom lashes. I always do bottom lashes first. I don't do top lashes because I have lash extensions, but if I were to do top, I still would do bottom first. And when I do the bottom, I hold my mirror up here so that I can really work my wand in, and I'm kind of wiggling it in. So I wanted to saturate my lashes. They're already separated. I don't need separation. I need them to be colorful, thicker. So now I'm just rubbing the tip. It's going to have most of the product. So after I kind of begin adding my mascara, I like to take whatever is left on the tip and really coat the lashes to make sure that they get that fullness. I don't even know how to show off my bottom lashes to you guys, but they're there. They're not very long, but they're there. So I'm going to do the same thing for my other eye. I'm using my Beach mascara. So looking into this mirror again, kind of wiggling it into my lower lashes. And then depositing whatever is on the tip. Now, when you're doing this and you apply whatever is on the tip, make sure you work fast so that you don't leave clumps. Anything that has a waterproof or a great hold, I feel like you only have 10 seconds to blend it. The moment you start putting it on, it's a race. All right, I've got my lower mascara on, so now all I need is my lip. Anyone have any questions? Oh, okay, I've never thought about highlighting the jaw. Oh, temples. Okay, I missed these. My bad, everybody. Okay, we've got temples, under the brow. Okay, let's do it all. Let's do it all. So we've got under the brow. I'm going to do that first. Also, I just want you guys, I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to wipe off the shimmer that's on my hand. It's very difficult. See? It's got a great staying power. That's what we want. Okay, I'm trying to work enough. I've never done the temples, so like right in here. Let me get a little more product. So I'm getting a little bit more goddess. A little bit more goddess. Okay. And a little bit of synergy. So mixing them together again. And mixing products is not easy. So I always say try to mix the amount that you need for the full face so you don't have to try to remember what that beautiful formulation was that you created. So we've got temple highlight from Susie. We've got under the brow highlight from Sloan. If anyone has anything else, please tell me. I won't miss it this time. So let's get under this brow. So I like to start right in front of where the arch is, because that's where I want a majority of that light to be focused. So that's really going to help to add lift. Now, of course, I'm going to blend it forward because I always overblend, but I want the concentration to be on this outer part of the brow. And what I'm also noticing is this is a really great way to cover up any unwanted brow hairs that you might have behind on you or on your client, because they covered them all right up. That was kind of cool. Ooh, yes, eyebrow. You can really see that. Get the other side for balance. All right. Ah, I like that dewy wet look. All right, so let's take it under the brow. I have this one wild brow hair that I don't want to tweeze because I like the way it makes my brow look, but it always wants to do its own thing. So I'm taking this, blending it over and down, always mimicking the same placement and application technique as the other side. You never want to try to switch application techniques from side to side if you don't know what's going to happen. And I know that sounds silly, but if you start off with a sponge and then you try to go grab a brush on the other side of the face, you might have two different finishes. And it's not always the best. So I would not recommend. Let's finish off our makeup with our lips. I am going to use a lipstick. I never really use lipstick. But what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to use a little bit of my brow liner to line my lip. You know that your brow color is typically your good liner shade. So let me grab my mirror. And I'm just going to use it to add a little definition. Just right here in this outer part of my lip. Now, when I'm working on myself, I like to tighten my mouth so that I can add the product easily. But I do not like that when I'm working on a client, I've noticed. I like them to just relax and let me maneuver and move them around. Doing the top lip as well. Again, I'm just giving it definition, meaning I'm just going over my natural lip line just to add a little depth. All right. So now that I have my depth added, I'm going to go in with my lipstick. So I have the shade Rumor in PYT. And I'm going to, so it has a lipstick and a lip gloss side, but I'm going to use the lipstick because I never do. I'm a lip gloss girl, so I always gravitate. Today is the day for change. It's a pretty color. Still gonna add the gloss though. It needs the gloss. We've got a glowy face. I can't just have natural lips. So I'm gonna grab this gloss. Oh yeah, that's what I needed. It's like that final shiny topper. Ooh, you know what I'm curious about and I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mix a little bit of my illuminating veil into my lips and see how that turns out. So should I mix them or should I just use one or the other? The Goddess or Synergy to add to my lip. What do you guys think? Okay, we got Goddess. Goddess wins. So I have, of course, too much Goddess on my hand again. So I'm going to use my lip brush, 942, and I put Goddess on there. So now I'm going to just... All right, so on top of PYT's lipstick and gloss, I love it. It feels good. It doesn't have that heavy or that kind of like a waterproof feel, but it gives me this glisten. There used to be this gold lipstick that I feel like everybody wore in like the 90s. Do you guys remember that? Like the early 2000s? It's this. I don't remember what it was, but it is this. So if you feel like being golden, this is what you want. This was such a fun look to create. Very high glam, but very easy. The fastest and easiest blend I have ever. Right. Yes, Sarah. That gold lipstick. It was definitely of its time. But so much so that I didn't even need a beauty blender. And I had one right here ready to blend in case I needed that extra blending. Oh, baby. Yes. It was fun creating this. It was fun putting all this together. And as you can see, everything is versatile. You can use it a little bit here or you can use it a little bit there. It has a great wear and a beautiful blend. So thank you so much for coming to my class. It was so exciting and so much fun to debut all of these products to you. If anyone has any questions about the look that I created today, by all means, let me turn over to Joe. I believe this is the time.
Yes, I do think we got a couple questions. I don't know if we got the answers, so correct me if I'm wrong. But Susie had asked, would you then use the beauty oil by itself or prior to primer mixed?
On me, I liked it by itself. On someone that has a little more texture or skin that's really combination, I probably would have used a primer on top of the beauty oil.
Sloan had asked, would you recommend the oil for oily skin too and the veil?
Yes, because they both don't produce shine. The beauty oil is a dry oil, so once it sinks into the skin, it's kind of gone. And the illuminating veil is very waterproof. It has a very great staying power, so it doesn't, again, increase or give the illusion that there's oiliness to the skin, just more flowy to the skin.
Georgie asked, did you say if the bronzer was water resistant as well?
I did not. I don't know. So I don't want to say yes, but I will, I'll splash water on my face later and we'll see what happens.
I love that everybody had so many questions. Okay, we had a question from Melissa earlier too, and this is going to sort of elaborate on the one that was asked. So the original question was, can that color powder number 2 be used on our lighter clients too? Like, is it like a banana color powder? Britt, I think you already did share a little insight on that. But to elaborate on that, what would you do in hypothetical 2 scenarios? One, you've used a powder that should not have gone on their skin. Like, how would you resolve that? And 2, when are you able to identify when it's too much powder?
Okay. First question, what do you do when there's too much powder? So if you've made the skin look really dry, sometimes pressing a very moist product on top of that is going to help break up that dryness. So I usually will go in with the creamy concealer, I think the Jouer concealer, because it's hydrating and has the hyaluronic acid in it. Because what I did was I dried out that area. So now I have to hydrate it again and not dry it out as much. So now I learned I used too much powder, or I didn't need powder in that area, which is why I like to wait until the very end to set, just in case the skin doesn't really need it. The second question, could you read that again, Joe, for me?
Hypothetical nightmare. You've used the wrong shade on a client or on yourself. So what would be the solution?
Oh, wrong shade of powder?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened. I've used a powder that was way too dark on a client once, and you press it in and you're just like, so you stop immediately, grab your softest, fluffiest brush. So for example, if I had to choose between these that I have right here, I will go with my fan brush because it's going to be the softest. I don't want to disrupt what's underneath, but I want to remove what's on top. So because I probably haven't really worked it in yet, it's probably just sitting there very easily able to wipe off. So I'll try my best to not wipe back and forth because that might blend it in, but kind of like wipe it off like this. If I get a majority of it off that way and I can just press a little foundation on top and I can cover it, great. If I can't get it all off doing that, I will grab either a powder in the same color as the client's skin or lighter than the skin, depending on how deep that first color was, in case I need to offset the depth while trying to wipe it off. Does that make sense? Perfect.
Absolutely. All right. I think that was all of our questions. So we have dropped the link to the entire look in the chat. So if you're curious about all of the products that we used today, go ahead. We've already built out a personalized shopping cart for you. We also do have the code Brittany10 that is available on the website for 10% off any of these products. Again, what was mentioned during this call is that we do have an exclusive bundle offer made available for all of our Blushington Pro community. So if you're looking to shop the entire Danessa Myricks line, it's a great addition to your Pro kits. No code is required for that. All you have to do is log in and you'll see that offer made available to you on the website. And I think that wraps up today's class. So if anybody has any additional questions, always feel free to DM us at Blushington. You can DM Britt at Britt Brow. Her Instagram handle has been dropped in the chat as well. Highly, highly encourage you all to follow Danessa Myricks. That's Danessa_Myricks. She is such a big deal, and getting to onboard her brand and talking with her team was nothing short of thrilling. So I think that's everything for today. Britt, I'll let you have the last word, but thank you everybody for coming today.
Yes, thank you so much, Joe. I couldn't have said it better. I had such a great time. Thank you for joining me. We were so excited to share this project we were working on in the background with you. So it's finally happened. It's finally here. It's finally come to light. So buy, love, fall in love with, and definitely follow Danessa. She teaches on Tuesdays. So go learn something on Tuesday. She goes live and she works her product. You'll be able to hear some of the things I said. You don't need a lot. It blends really well. All you have to do is this. So go listen, go learn more, and practice. And I'm here if you need me. Bye. In just 25 hours at the Blushington Academy, you'll be ready to increase your earning potential and become your own beauty boss. Blushington Academy is valuable to self-taught makeup artists and for those that went to school and graduated. Blushington is an incredible place to advance your career.
The Blushington Academy is giving you all the industry secrets, tips, tricks that they know, and they are giving that to you in that 25-hour course. That's priceless.
What surprised me as a new makeup artist was all of the work that went on behind the scenes. The skills I learned at Blushington Academy would have come in handy 10 years ago when I first started my career.
Along with the Blushing Academy, you get your own Blushington kit. The kit is curated by their artists, so you get this amazing kit that you are gonna use on every single client. Realistically, what you pay for the course, you're getting in the kit.
When I first saw the kit, I was like, wow.
It's rare to find a makeup academy that provides such luxurious products.
So to turn up our look, let's grab our eyeshadow palettes and look at the color choices that we have. I love this palette. The colors are so vibrant and so beautiful.
You are so overwhelmed with where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I get my name out there? Blushington is behind you and they are gonna help you do that. You are a featured certified artist on their website. So if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, people can book you, brides can book you. Having a huge company like Blushington behind you, that is something that when you go to another school, you don't get.
Having a shop-in-shop at Blushington is going to be such a game changer. I'm always recommending wonderful products to my clients, and it's going to be so nice to be able to help them purchase products that I stand behind, and it's going to be nice for me because I'll be able to make a little extra income.
You educate your clients, you use the products on them, and they have an option to buy directly from you, from Blushington, so that way that's commission in your pocket. Why did no one else think of this? It's amazing.
Loneliness of the career can really get to you because you're essentially an entrepreneur building a one-person business. But with Blushington, I could create community and rely on them for encouragement and for business matters. I honestly feel that this course is an amazing value.
You'll have a lifetime access to a new group of makeup artists, so you'll always have someone in your corner supporting you and there to answer any questions that you may come across in your career. There are so many things that we have to learn the hard way, especially as freelance artists. Blushington Academy takes away some of the pains of growing.
If you are just starting or if you've been doing it for years like I have, you can never stop learning. If you are getting ready to sign up for the Academy, just know it is just the beginning of your career.